Oftentimes we blame inflated prices for our problems at the checkout at the grocery store. And I'm not saying that that's not true. By sure and for true, it is true. But there are other factors that we need to include in this. What on earth am I talking about? Let's get into it and I'll be right back. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Jan. Welcome to another episode of my channel, Save Money More, Jan channel. How you doing today? Hope everybody's doing well. Yes, yes, yes. For real and for true, in actuality, higher prices are just that, higher prices. But there are things that we can do. We can do ourselves. Sometimes we encourage the higher costs at the grocery store checkout. Yes, we have to take some of the blame sometime. And it all gets started where? In the menu planning. One of the biggest mistakes that families do, all of us have done it. It's just not a great idea when you're really trying to tighten the old belt and watch what you're paying for at the grocery store. We purchase or create single serve meals. What is that? That's a one time only meal. So if you, for example, let's say that you go out to the pizzeria, for example, and buy an 8 slice pizza, and there are 4 people in your family, inevitably there'll be 2 slices of pizza per person. That's the end of it. Done deal, finished with, nada, done, zero till the next time. Wow. And that could be major league expensive. That could be something like $30 and up. Okay. So we covered about how to do, in my opinion, a great homemade style pizza using frozen garlic bread. And I talk about it at length on a previous video. Go check it out. Okay. So instead of that, you could go for like a fraction of the cost and get multiple uses out of it. And you see where I am going with this. So that's a big mistake. Doing one time single serve meals only. Okay. Now, do I believe in creating, or as I say, manufacturing our own meals? We could create our own single serve meals. Sure. We can make them when we want to at our leisure on a, let's say, quiet afternoon or whenever you're available, whatever time permits for you. And we could make a whole bunch of food in our crock pots and our ovens, and then we could divide them. It might take a minute, big deal, a minute to put them into our, into our serving trays and into our storage containers and put it away. Not a big deal. I much rather do that than get sticker shock at the grocery store. Like I'm saying, yes, the prices are high, but what can we do to maximize the things that we have purchased? Well, for one, I think we have been so used to extremely overtly generous servings of everything. I watch sometimes people in real life, like in front of me, for example, like I watch them cook. I don't say anything. I'm like they overly season things, in my opinion, and they're just using up their ingredients, to beat the band, and which means buying more often, spending more, and at the end of the day, again, more sticker shock at the grocery checkout. There are things that we could do. We don't have to play the victim role here, okay? We can have more water-based meals. I talk about that in past videos, creating soups, creating stews. We could buy inexpensive root vegetables that fill us up. Potatoes are a huge filler upper, and they are delicious and they're good for you, in my opinion. If not for anything else, they make you feel good because they fill you up. But you also need to have protein. Now, here's where we have to start stretching the old budget a little bit more in the meat area, because sometimes you could get a great deal on meat, and when you can, stock up. Sometimes you, instead of having filet mignon, you could stock up on some chicken that's on sale. It is a good protein. It is readily available, and you could get it. You could do a lot with it. It just depends on the type of chicken and the way you get it. That really, really counts. All right. So instead of us playing the victim role and woe is me, and yes, it is, and it can be sticker shock for a lot of things, but there are things that we could do, okay? Even when we consider our stockpiling. I mentioned this on a recent video. Sometimes people think they can't start a stockpile because they're like, oh, I don't have the money. $5 can get a person a couple of bags of split peas if that's what they like, or chickpeas, the dried beans. It doesn't sound exciting. Listen, when your stomach is growling and you're really hungry and there's nothing else to put together, and you have that, with some bouillon cubes and maybe some ham, those canned hams that you could buy, inexpensive put-togethers, then you think, all of a sudden split pea soup with ham and it tastes pretty darn good, especially when you have the hungries and funds are low. You have unexpected changes in life like layoffs. Sometimes people's salaries get cut out of nowhere. Like, what? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've heard of that one. Oh, well, you want to keep your job? Well, you're going to have to remain here for less hours. Going to cut down your hours, which means less pay. I know a few people that are going through that. Not a pretty picture. Not a pretty picture. So always be ready for the unexpected. Okay. But getting back to the grocery store, we've got to wash away magically this victim mentality of I admit I'm not saying the prices aren't high. They sure as heck are. They make my job a little bit harder to have to convey different ways to save. So stocking up, for example, on the rices, on the when you see rices or noodles on sale, hello, need I say more? Pasta lasts a long time, longer than its expiration date, just for the record, in case one may not be aware of that. All right. So pasta, canned fishes, these are things, these put togethers. We could put together meals that give us leftovers. Stews gives me a bunch of leftovers. Okay. Soup gives me a ton of leftovers. And I like to put them away into my freezer trays, and I know that I have it. Did you ever catch a cold and you really want some homemade, like not the can? I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the can, but when you're unwell and you want your own real for true homemade chicken soup that you made with your own good old stock from scratch, if you have that in the freezer and all you have to do is melt it down, defrost it in your microwave if you want, or just put a little hot water in a saucepan with a pinch of salt. Put that in there on a low simmer. You got your soup right back for you. No slicing, no dicing, no going out of your way. You have a bowl of comfort. And another option, if you don't want to spend $40 on pizza, including a beverage and a tip, grilled cheese and tomato soup. Let's think about this. What's on a pizza? Cheese. What else? Tomatoes. Okay. Bread. I mean, I'm just thinking of flavor components. Let's say one loaf of inexpensive, not fancy schmancy sliced bread, which by the way, even I found in the New York area for $2.19 not long ago. It might have gone up to 2.25, which to this day is a gift when I know the other artisan breads, what they go for. You know how many slices, how many grilled cheese sandwiches I could get out of that? I have also learned to cut down a grilled cheese sandwich, not to two slices of grilled cheese in a sandwich, but one slice in my grilled cheese sandwich, and it tastes just as good to me. But I'm thinking me, everybody is different. I can make a ton of grilled cheese sandwiches for other people and have still some more to make another session. And little cans of store brand tomato soup. The national brand, yeah, it's delicious. I'm not saying it's not, but it could be pricey sometimes. But this is the time of the year where you can probably get a bargain on the national brand. Whatever price of tomato soups that you can get, just get it. I mean, I'm serious. So there are ways and there are ways. You need to get rid of the woe is me, I'm a victim. Yeah, but I do agree the prices are high, but we're not the victim because we can fix this. I don't like to remain the victim. I rather remain the victor. See where I'm going with that. All right, everybody, have an amazing, fantastic day. And I really hope this helps someone. Have a great day. Don't forget to click like, share, and subscribe.